There are a variety of ways you can populate your directories with files. Copy existing files, create new files, download files from the web, get files as attachment from emails. We hit the highlights in this video, the last video before we explore the Notepad application. In the previous video, we showed you how to use copy, cut, and paste menu options to make copies of the entire contents of a directory or a single file. But there are a couple of useful techniques that might be good to know about. Let's start with one of my trip directories for the Sister City committee I manage and make a copy inside the Travel with Friends directory we made in the previous video. I'll right-click the directory, choose Copy, then right-click the destination and select Paste, and it makes the copy right away. One of the downsides to this approach is you may end up with lots of files you don't really need. There's a couple of techniques that allow you to select individual files, yet still copy multiple files in a single operation. First, if you want to select a range of files that are contiguous in the list, you click on the first one in the range, then scroll down to the last one in the range and hold the Shift key while you click on this last one. Then right-click this batch, copy, and then paste. And I'll paste them into our trip 1. So we have that. Or, if you want to select multiple files but they're not contiguous in the list, you can do this using the Control key. You select your first file name, then you hold the Control key down while you select others, one at a time. And right-click this, put it in the clipboard, and go down to Trip 1 and paste. And just those files will have been copied into the target directory. For creating new files, you use an application such as Notepad, WordPad, Paint, Microsoft Office, and so on. The trick here is when you are ready to save your new file, you select the Save As option from the File menu. Now choose your file name wisely and make sure it goes into the directory of your choice, not necessarily the place where the application would put it by default. Here's an example. I have a Notepad file and I select File and Save As, not Save. And then you see it gives me a directory, sort of a File Explorer type of interface. Now if I don't want to put it in this directory, I use this way to go to the directory where I want it. Let's say I'm going to put it into Scraps. I always have a directory named Scraps. And you can change the name of the file too. So this way you could even save it in the same directory, just give it a different name. So I'll do that and save. Here's another example using an application called Irfan View. I've got a picture I've worked on here, and now I want to save it as. So I'll save it, and I'll use this file name followed by 2. And again, I can change where it gets stored. Now it seems like many applications have different versions of the File Explorer interface, so you may have to learn this different for each app. So I go here and Trainer's Friend Web and Takayama, and then I'll save it in that directory. So that's the key, making sure you save files in the right place with the right name. There are a variety of ways to download files from websites, but the principles above still apply. When you are to save the file, choose the file name wisely, make sure that it goes into the directory of your choice, not necessarily where the application would put it by default. Let's take a look. Here I've navigated to the standards page for HTML, and I have two possible approaches. First, under the File menu, I can save page as, and then I can specify the directory I want and the file name I want. Alternatively, I can right-click on an empty space on the page and do Save Page As from there. Same thing, specify your name and your target directory. Sometimes you have a target image that you want. You can right-click on the image and Save Image As. Again, same idea. You can specify the directory where to save the image and the name you want to save it as. You sometimes have downloads to make from web pages. If you request a download, you get a menu somewhat like this, and if it says Save File, you click OK, and it asks you where you want to save the file to. Again, you can change the directory and you can change the name. So now you have a solid base of Windows skills fundamentals. They may have snuck up on you without you realizing it, but reflect on this list to see if you can recall how to do each of these. Launch applications from the desktop from the taskbar. Close applications. Reposition windows and icons on the desktop. Resize, maximize, and minimize windows. Name files and directories using the rules for naming. Create directories and subdirectories. Delete files and directories. Rename files and directories. Use the clipboard to copy and paste files and directories, leaves the original behind, or cut and paste files and directories, removes the original. Use Save As to specify a target directory and file name. Save images from a web page and download files from a web page. These skills provide a solid base for all our future work. In the next session, we explore how to work with the Notepad application. Finally, see you there.